What's going on, everybody? Welcome indeed to the I guess it's the Jono Canute show now. Let me make sure I'm all squared away here. Hey, what's going on? Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks for jumping along and hanging out with us today. Looking forward to spending some time with you. I am live on YouTube, and I think I'm live on Facebook. And so let's go ahead and go over to the Facebook and see what's going on here. Yep, I am. It is listed as live. Why isn't it? Why is it listed on my personal profile and not on the John O'Canute page? This is so weird. This should have been posted on the John O'Canute. Anyway, yeah, good stuff. So here I am, and I will. Can I share this in that page? Share in your story, Messenger, share to a page. This one. All right. Let me see if this loads. Whoa, now I'm hearing it twice. Stop. Oh my gosh. Mute. All right. Sorry, I was hearing that double. That was painful. All right. So I'm over on Facebook as well. However, I don't think socials is connected to it. Let's have a look and see. Now it wants me to find the link on Facebook. Oh my goodness. So what's going on? Things are going well over here. Back from my trip to Nashville last weekend, and so that has been pretty great. Continue. Yeah, okay. Come on, Facebook, you can do it. Hopefully I'm not dropping a ton of frames. Let's go ahead and see what is going on over on in the comments section. Hey, what's going on, Randy? How are you doing? Yes, you are indeed first. And Little Mac, what's going on, man? You are second. Well done. He can confirm that I am indeed live on Facebook. So excellent. What's going on, Angus? Good to see you, man. Thanks for stopping by today. Yeah, so back from Nashville, had a really productive weekend. It's so funny because I go down there and sometimes we don't like know what we're gonna do. And then we end up basically being super busy all the time. So one of the minor things that was noted was that the people that attend the soundstage recording noticed that the latency to the screens was a little slow. And, for those of you who have played this game long enough, we call that IMAG, or, IMAG latency. And that's basically the amount of time it takes for the image from the glass of the camera to get back onto the screens. And you would think that it was, instantaneous, but it really isn't. And so it takes a lot of time to process that information. So good stuff. And we ended up running hardline SDI all the way to the screens and then converting it right there with like a Blackmagic SDI into HDMI out converter and then HDMI into the TVs. And it is much better from a technical standpoint. Many people would think I'm splitting hairs, but it is actually quite an improvement from a tech person's stance, just because I notice a difference and the other technician notices the difference, and some of the audience members notice as well, which is par for the course. When you are making improvements, they're usually really like not everybody's going to notice, right? So there you go. That was one of the things we did last weekend. So always a good use of our time. Hey, I was in Gatlinburg this weekend. Ooh, so probably down at Winterfest, eh? That, I believe, was going on. There were some other folks that I knew that were headed down there for that same event from up here in Michigan. And so I saw that they were there. As many of you know, also just to kind of let the cat out of the bag, as many of you know, I went from having a RE20 microphone really close on a boom arm and everything to having it mounted on my desk. And I don't mind that so much. However, it is picking up some of the room sound. Let me just actually verify that. On my phone, it actually sounds pretty good. It sounds pretty close. But I'm also running it I can just put this back here. I'm also running it quite high on the processing for the microphone. And so having to add a bunch of gain on the preamp, which granted it's a phantom powered microphone, and you're gonna need to add gain to that microphone anyways, because it's got a fair bit of, it's gonna need a lot of power. But I'm pretty much maxed out on the preamp. And then on the back end, I'm just slightly over zero, so I'm adding another decibel or two on the way out after there's a gate, and then there is a compressor that's running every now and then. This here is the de-esser, and then this down here is the gate that keeps flashing. So I guess you can't really see that, my fingers. The first one is the de-esser, the second one is the gate, and there's also a red light before that first one on camera. That's the compressor. So I'm running a pretty hot microphone going into this preamp drive rack, which does all of my audio stuff. It's a better arrangement than what I had at Bird Dog, because at Bird Dog I just went directly into a 404, Euphoria 404. Now instead I'm going into a DBX 286S, which is a mic preamp processor, and it's doing all the processing. And then it's going into the Euphoria UMC 1820. So that's the big brother of the 404. It's the rack-mounted big brother version of the 404. So it's going in to the processor, and then it goes into the USB interface, basically, all happening through my my RE20. So that's the way that it's set up right now. Today, we're going to change that a little bit. Today, I have gone back to the old faithful Gator Frameworks microphone stand, the boom stand that I had at Bird Dog. I bought one, and they run about a little more than $100. And I don't have a knife because, well, I'll save that story for later. Anyways, they run about $100, and this was such a great investment when I had it at Bird Dog, that I liked it so much I decided to go with it again. Here, get scissors. Okay. So we're going to unbox this right now and start getting it set up, because this will be a vast improvement to the audio quality, I think, subjective, a vast improvement to the audio quality on this show. And so it's a pretty simple setup. I actually, when I was with Bird Dog, I bought 3 of these, and they went to a trade show, the notorious NAB, and whoops, what is that? Random piece of hardware. Oh, it's a washer. Ooh, it's a threaded washer. Interesting. Probably came out of this box somehow. Anyways, I went to the notorious NAB trade show, and I took all 3 of them with me, and only one of them was shipped back to me. They just magically disappeared. It's really weird, because I was going to use them to set up a podcast booth, which I never ended up really doing, eh? Beautiful thing about this is why I love this microphone stand. It's a single boom arm. The joint is spring loaded, so when you put it under weight, which is the RE20 is heavy, but it's spring loaded joint, and the base has a really nice clamp style mount. So you can just take the clamp off, and then you thread this on when you have it where you want it. And finally, the integrated XLR cable. Now, the one that I had at Bird Dog, I had some issues with, but it's integrated. It's fed through the boom arm, so you don't have it wrapped around anything. Comes out here right at the microphone, and then you can just pull back the slack that you don't want. So there's a whole bunch here. I don't need that much. I don't know why anyone would need that much XLR at the point of entry. So we will pull that back. We'll shorten that a fair bit. And then you have like a 10-foot XLR cable that you can use to run to your rig or plug into your existing. So I have a 6-foot XLR. It's just an Amazon Basics, but a 6-foot XLR that runs here to the RE20. I'm going to get rid of that and then plug it directly into the port at the back of. This is actually now my sound rig. I'm going to put it that way, because everything that I do for sound is here. And maybe I'll show this on a different show, but I've even bought one of those punch out panels and mounted my own, XLR inputs, outputs, quarter-inch outputs, Ethernet jacks, all that stuff in a 1U panel. And I've punched those out, and then I've customized it to where I just plug in what I need. But I can also then put the doors on this if I need to. This is a, what is this called? A cross rack chassis. It's not a Gator. It's a cross rack chassis. And so a little bit less expensive, same quality build as a Gator. But Gators are like an extra $50 for a 3U rack like this, which I think is absolutely highway robbery because they don't need to be that expensive. The question, though, one of the things is where do you mount the microphone, right? Because I've got 3 screens, 1, 2, 3, that wrap around my desk. So where do you put a big boom arm like this? And my initial thoughts is I'm going to put it on the far side of the desk and come up between screens 2 and 3. I don't think that will be as intrusive as it coming off the sideway here and blocking my screens, which is what I used to do at Bird Dog until I changed my rig, and then I just had a single screen, and I was using Chrome Remote Desktop to access all my other computers, which were mounted on the other side of the studio. And we talked about Chrome Remote Desktop on last Thursday, right? So I cleaned things up a lot. I got rid of a lot of screens. I got rid of a lot of computing power when I made those changes, and it worked really well. So I'm going to need to get under the table and mount this thing. And then we can start putting this on the boom arm and getting this upgraded. So that's what today's upgrade is. It's going to fit there just nicely. However, something's pushing it away, so it's going to fall if I mount it here. So let me take 2 seconds. I'm going to turn the music back up. Let me take 2 seconds. And I will get this thing mounted on the back, and then we can kind of fumble through it again in a minute. So I'll be right back. Okay, pretty easy. And I'll bring that music back down, put my headphones back on so I can hear what's going on. Did the music actually play? Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. So here we go. Now that is now mounted basically right between the screens where I think it's going to come up. And I can move that screen back just slightly. Now we've got to figure out how to feed this long wire, which is right here, back through this neck, because it is definitely way too... Oh. Actually, I think it's just super easy. We may need to loosen this. Okay. And then... Can I just pull this? No. It did not like that. All right, well, there's got to be a way. Okay, yeah. If I put pressure on the side that I need to pull it from, then it seems to come out pretty easy. So I'll feed some in the neck. I don't remember doing this with the previous ones. There's also a new sticker here on this one, Gator Frameworks. Super nice. I mean, they're great quality build, all metal. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. The actual tightening knobs are not metal, but the whole frame and everything is metal, which makes it kind of feel premium. All right. Boy, this is going to take a long time if this is how fast we're able to work. Because it's doing a little bit at a time. And they give you this massive cable to go with it. Like, not an additional cable. It's integrated. I'm just nervous I'm putting too much pressure. Oh, there. Yeah. There's still a lot. Like, still a. I don't need it to be that big. I want it to actually be nice and tidy and neat. Right? All right, so we'll try and keep pulling this out here. Keep the pressure on one side, I guess. There's no documentation or anything with this as to like, hey, if you need to adjust this, just do this, and that'll work really fast, or nothing like that. I love that all the gear. So all the other ones that I've owned, they're all open and exposed, and the cable's not integrated, and it just seems like less premium. But here, it's all together and seems to look quite tidy. And then when you go to actually adjust the microphone, there's no spring sounds. You know that, like, a lot of cheaper stands, there'll be some like raw springs, which if you were around in the early Bird Dog days, that was definitely happening. Okay, that's pretty good. Like, that's what I want, just a little jumper like that. So let's go with that for now. And then I'm gonna loosen the bottom here so I can get this in where I need it to go. And then this huge cable. So just give me a second here and I will sort this out. Now I've got like monitor stands and things all over the place, man. So there we go. Okay, so she's upside down. She's backwards, I mean. All right. Come on. Come on. There you go. There we go. All right. Because I need her to reach this way, eh? So we'll get there like that. And then I'm going to tighten this screw down so she doesn't move. From there, tighten this one down. Ooh, wait a minute. Can we go a little bit more? Not really. So it barely comes out from underneath my two screens. But I can bring screen 3 over a little bit now. It's not quite so far away. And I'm sweating. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change over to a very crappy microphone, which ends up being the check, this one. All right. Can you hear me now? All right. I have switched over to the NTG2. Obvious difference, eh? And now we will undo all of this that's in here. Okay, so the RA20, take it off the mic stand. Of course, this thing, for anybody who's in the industry who for some reason has stumbled across my channel, if you would make removing the actual microphone like nuts and bolts a little simpler, that would be amazing. Because I'm really tired of having to use a screwdriver to get all this stuff loose, you know? Man, I don't want to like strip it, but there we go. Phew. All right. So which thread? This is a really big thread. This is the one that I need. Okay, so it looks like this. I don't know if you can see if it's gonna focus on that or not. Sure isn't. There it is. Hey. So there's the thread that I need for this guy. And then he will go on the boom arm. So I'm going to take the microphone off the little stand. And then we'll thread this on. Oh boy. And then we're going to thread this guy on. Pretty exciting. All right. All right. And now we can loosen this arm. And then we can take the RE20, my big expensive microphone, feed him in here, tighten him down. Oh boy. This feels like old times is what this feels like right here. However, I need a way to tighten this down. This mount is not going to tighten down easily. So I wonder if that's why they gave me this little guy. It looks like it. That is surely the reason, because it fits perfectly on there, on that thread. All right, so now I can go like this. Hey-oh. Yes, I can. All right. Whoa, whoa. All right. Back in with the microphone. Tighten that right down. In goes the XLR cable, which is super clean now. Still not on. All right, and now I need to replace this Amazon cable with this black cable. Great, another black cable at my desk. That's what I need. Another unidentifiable cable. All right, here we go. Into the rig, which is over here. All right. Now, she is plugged back in, although I'm going to have a massive amount of power, so I'm going to back off on the preamp a little bit. And we're going to see how this goes. All right. What does that sound like? Probably a lot better. One would hope it would sound a lot better, because now we are a whole lot closer to my mouth, and I'm not needing to use quite the amount of power that I needed to use before. Although I now notice that the de-esser threshold is not working quite as heavy, but the gate's still on. So there we go. Let's have a little listen on my phone and see what we have. Oh man, I do love the RE20. Get it nice and close to your mouth and you get the full range of everything, right? So there we go. All good. Little Mac was down in Gatlinburg at Winterfest. That's pretty cool. Hopefully you had a good time. I've actually never been to Winterfest, believe it or not. It's wild. The lowest latency iMag I know is of tube cameras gen locked with CRT cameras, electron beam scanning for perfect sync. Wow. Now, for obvious reasons, that's not exactly a setup anyone would use nowadays. But I've seen some shows where they've had two separate LED wall configurations with each showing different amounts of latency. One of them had to be a second or more. Wow, yeah, that's a lot. That is a lot of latency, that is for sure. Hey, if you're going to use Blackmagic cameras, they're also recommending adjusting the Genlock reference to -12 lines in the cameras to reduce latency for iMag. So we haven't moved over to Blackmagic cameras yet, but that will be coming up soon. Actually, I think the next time I'm down there in a couple of weeks. So they probably, I think, are arriving this week at some point. Back in the day, I always enjoyed getting the gen lock perfectly timed with our old Sony SEG 2550 switcher. We ran terrible Sony DXC 327 cameras. They're just awful, and they're completely worn out. The music's working just fine. Excellent. Boom arms with integrated XLR cables are awesome. I used to have one that had integrated XLR, and now I have one that does not have the XLR cable integrated. Ooh, that sounds so good. Yeah, that is mucho del better. Lovely. Excellent. I'm glad you guys approve. And now I don't feel like I have to shout as much. That maybe this channel is going to turn into like an ASMR channel, because that is what the RE20, and I have that 3DO microphone here, so I can hook that up too. 20 out of 10 better. Maybe just a bit thin, could do with a bit more warmth. Actually, that's probably because I have the... why is that? Check. That's probably because I've got the... I need to listen to it in these cans, because that would probably tell me what it really sounds like. What's my audio output? 1 and 2. Okay, hopefully you guys don't hear this. Yeah, okay, so I could... All right, tell me what that sounds like, because I can change it a little bit. Oh, wait a minute, my EQ wasn't flat. Okay, so I'm going to go back, because I have some wiggle room on that frequency, but I don't necessarily want to push it if I don't want it to feel unreal, you know? But I do have some movement there, so there's only a few of you watching. I'll give it over to you. Let me know what you think about that. vMix Socials is now connected to Facebook, but is it? That's the real question, right? John O'Canute, find posts, unnamed post? Unnamed post. Okay. Let's see. Let me see that. Maybe the Facebook post isn't showing anything here. Okay, so back to my actual page. What's going on, Anthony? How are you? Hey, can you solve my bird dog issue? How am I hearing you just fine before you even hook up the boom arm? Or do you need to go through all the boom arm trouble if I'm already hearing you just fine? So you were hearing me just fine, but the trade-off was I want this RE20 to do the proximity rejection, and in the position that it was in, we weren't able to really let it do its thing, and I was having to project a whole lot more than I was comfortable doing. So bought a boom arm, I have it here on my desk, and I'm going to position this a little closer because I can, and get that nice and close, and that way I don't have to scream and you don't have to struggle. So what is your bird dog question, Anthony? I don't know if I can solve your bird dog question, mostly because I don't work there, but I could give it a try. There are a few people in this audience as well that also might have some insight into the issue. So let me know. Let me know what your problem is, and I can try and take a look at it. Don't forget, folks, the place to be. So there's two John O'Canute places. There is the YouTube page, which is just the John O'Canute page, which most of you are on. I'm also trying to get enough followers so I can stream directly to a Facebook page, which is also known as John O'Canute. So if you haven't done so already, subscribe to me on YouTube, check me out on Facebook, and join me in both of those places. And then this stream, I'm hoping, will go to both of those. However, I'm streaming live to my personal page right now, which is going to my story as well, oddly enough. But I'm streaming out to... Yes, making sure that we go... Sorry, somebody posted something funny about the Nashville area I was just in. So yeah, we're definitely... Now I need to get this audio box a little higher so you can see all the fun little lights that happen when I'm using it. The compressor is really not using very much at all. There, now, when I'm just talking like this, I don't really want the compressor to work, but if I get a little louder, then, yeah, there, now it comes on. So that's good. I'm trying to keep it nice and even. Okay, so back to my page. Let's see if Anthony's still with us. Yeah, let me know about that bird dog problem, and I'll jump into socials and see. You're not an FM radio sports guy, no? Sounds perfect here. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can monkey with the lower frequency details and basically like enhance those, but it becomes pretty artificial pretty fast. So I don't want to go too much more than what it is, but I'll do whatever the crowd wants me to do. So you let me know. So yeah, we were busy this weekend in Nashville. Had a lot of things that we wanted, like little minor projects that we wanted to cross off, and we did we did all of them as far as I know. I did discover, I should have found the name. I found like they had a little video transmitter, like a wireless video transmitter, and it looks legit. I think it's from Sweetwater. If I find it, I will I'll post it. But we were so focused on latency, that SDI transmitter, let's just put it that way. We were so focused on getting the latency down, and then we did this little HDMI transmitter receiver thing, and it was then obviously slow. And so there wasn't... No, it's not on this website. Let's try Amazon real quick. It was so obviously slow that camera transmitter that we couldn't use it. We were watching it, looking at it, and we thought maybe because we corrected the screens that our latency would be improved. But no. Yeah. So the company that we used was Hollyview, HOLLYVIEW. And it was just two little devices that they had from a previous life. Here they are. If we were just recording, these would have been fine, I think, because timing wouldn't really matter. But there's definitely a lot of latency. And so there it is right there. 0.08 seconds latency. They act as if that's not noticeable. The other thing was, so they're wireless, right? And we really needed line of sight at all times. We were not going very far, maybe a max 50 feet. And we had one of them under a little awning and one of them in a booth window on the second floor. And they could not do it. They were unable to send it clean. And so we were getting a lot of drop frames, a lot of pixelation of the image. And it can go in, I think, HDMI or SDI and go out HDMI or SDI. And that's a nice feature. And again, if I was doing run and gun and I wasn't, I just needed to roam a little bit, it wouldn't have been a big deal. But these were not acceptable for live production at all. And I'm sure if I go down here, Yeah, they were just sitting on the shelf though. Like I like looked down. I was like, "What are these?" And they're like, "Yeah, we have these. We were trying to like get them to work, but they were just too slow." Does the job exceptionally well. Easy to use. Box was damaged. 400 wireless transmitters. Oh yeah, and you have to buy the batteries separately. It was fine. Again, and if I was just going for straight video, recording it and not doing a live production with other cameras in the rig, sure. If my whole fleet were these and they were all kind of lined up, fine. But it just wasn't. Yeah, it just wasn't enough. Hey, usually you want your compressor to just be kissing the peaks of your loudness by 1 or 2 decibels. Yes. And that is precisely what they're doing. It's not even showing up. When I talk like this, it's flickering on the 3 decibel gain reduction, but it's not. We used the Teradek Bolt Ranger and mounted it to a light truss above the stage, so line of sight was always clear and pretty close. Okay, if we're going to go to a roaming camera, and there is a good chance in the next 12 months we will, that's the device that I would love to test. However, the Ranger is like $8,000, isn't it? Something ridiculous. And yeah, I don't think that's in the cards for this install. Teradek Ranger. Oh, it's TER. Sorry. Teradek. Okay. Sorry, we couldn't find anything for Teradek Ranger. Yoink. Okay, so Teradek Ranger Micro Series. Okay, 0 delay wireless video. Yes. I would love to even just do the Ranger HD. Don't need 4K, don't need the micro, don't need any of that. But I think the Ranger, the entry asking level price is something like $7,000. Seems a little steep. Just a little bit, right? If we head on over to B&H, this is what we're talking about here, folks. This thing would be amazing. But none of the cameras are $7,000, let alone. And granted, like if you're going to a place where you're not going to be able to run SDI, fine. But in our instance, a $7,000 transmission shot is just not going to be, well, it's just not going to be feasible. It looks amazing. Like I would love to get one of these, but I don't think there's a way I could pitch it. Yeah, I don't think so. Hey, I have a set of Hollyland 400S Pros. They're great for feeding a producer monitor when you're doing a recording production. Really not an iMac safe tool. That's interesting. Go the other way. Ooh. You could do a monitor down to the stage. Well, there's an idea. Jeez, Angus. I'm glad you're still on this show. You give me lots of good ideas. There's an idea. You could go the other way. So you could transmit out of the booth and receive on a monitor. Because we have all sorts of SDI outputs. And so you could send a return feed. Right? You could send a return feed down to the roaming camera. Interesting. There's an idea. Okay. I like it. That is a good idea. I'm probably going to do that. So, what's your experience with roaming cameras that are hardlined? I know it sounds like a nightmare, but if we were to just run a long SDI cable that basically we could get up in the roof or something like that, it'd be really cool. The place where we're at right now wouldn't let us do it, but you could get a roller system. So you mount 2 tracks from back to front to the stage that are evenly on either side of the stage. And then you mount one truss that goes across. And then you could mount gear up there, like a hook, for example, for an SDI cable that could follow you around the room. And it would go up and stay out of everyone's way, but stay off the ground and not get tangled up as well. That'd be kind of fun. Yeah. That would be, that's a good idea to send it back. I've done it. It works just fine. Plop down some SDI lines wherever you need to have a roaming camera. Yeah. Tell me, has anybody ever looked at the Blackmagic cameras compared to Sony sensors? How are they in terms of balance? Can I get the Sony's, I'm sorry, not Sony sensors, the Canon sensors? How are Blackmagic cameras, in particular the G2 6K Pro, how are those sensors compared to Canon like DSLRs? So if we're talking about like a mirrorless camera or something like that, can I get them close? Because I've done a fair bit of color balancing across different fleets of cameras. And, you know, I cut my teeth on trying to learn how to do that for 6 years at my former employ. Why are these all rusted? But I don't even know what's in this box. I installed this boom arm without even looking at the box. Probably like instructions on how to move the cable through the... Oh, it's a hard mount for... Oh, that's nice. Oh, okay. I'm going to keep that. It's a hard mount for the brace, which I don't need to use it here because I have a standing desk, but all good. Make sure that you have a cable puller or TVA helper person on your camera operator. A utility person is what we'd call that tether monkey. Yeah, so that's the question, right? Because I don't have a ton of volunteers. And so if you could wire up like a track on the ceiling, that then you could thread that SDI cable and just have it come down, and then it could move around back and forth. You'd have to figure out how to bumper the ends so that they wouldn't bang when you got to the end of the thing. But it's an interesting idea that you could, yeah, otherwise you just need a volunteer to run around behind that. But that's the thing is, like, I don't know how I can, without a tether monkey, I don't know how easy it is to do that. The people at the soundstage, when they're there every week, sit down. They don't really roam around. And that would become even more important. But, yeah, they sit down and they're pretty stationary during the recording. So I'm a little bit late, but how about the Teradek Bolt? They price around $3,000. Teradek Bolt. Let's have a little look-see here. Teradek Bolt 6. Is that what we're talking about? You can get the Blackmagic cameras close, but you need a reference chart. I know how to adjust the gamma. The only thing you can't control is the white knee. Okay. Teradek Bolt is $3,000. What's the story with these guys? The Bolt, it is SDI. Yeah, $3,000 I could probably swallow a little better. Transmission distance 750. I wouldn't need any more than that. What is the latency? What's the on paper latency, right? Has anybody used the Bolt? Is that what was suggested earlier? So usually you want the Bolt. Yeah, Teradek Bolt by NetHab. What is the latency of the Bolt? Because might be able to swing that at some point. Transmits line of sight, 3G SDI, HDMI input output, compatible with the Bolt series, Bluetooth mobile app, spectrum analyzer, supports 6 gig frequencies, 4K res. Doesn't say anything about the latency specs. Latency. Interesting. Where can I try one? Try it before you buy it. So B&H Teradek Bolt, that's half the price. That's better. More than half the price. But that's better. Probably go for something like that if we had a roaming camera. And that really is the next shot, I think. We have 2 or 3 cameras already. What's interesting about... So before I arrived, they had a company come out and install some PTZ cameras. And they installed them at the back of the room next to each other. I don't understand what the philosophy is there. So they made like a bracket and they put them side by side so that you could have 2 similar shots, but like have a close up and a wide shot, I guess. But like if it's me, you use you diversify those shots by putting them on the sides. But anyways, it was weird. It was a weird thing to... I don't know. It was just weird. The Bolt and the Ranger are the same technology, but one is for broadcast and uses V-mount gold mounts, while the Bolt is a cold shoe mount. Oh, and that's what I would need, is a cold shoe mount. It's stated to be 0 latency. What's going on? Technicom Media, how are you? Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate that. All right. I haven't heard from Anthony again, but he had a bird dog problem. I was going to see if I could help him with it. Yoink. Let me know what your question is. I'll click on my live button here. Interesting. So yeah, I'm gonna keep this information handy because that will be helpful. Teradek Bolt. Teradek Bolt. Wait. Why is this one 1500? Because it's not SDI? Hang on. What's the story here? Teradek video transmission with 0 delay, wireless transmission, HDMI. Which is fine. I can convert it. Although my whole rig is SDI, so it'd be nice to have the option. Is there an SDI only option? Teradek Bolt HDMI. What? See, because the receiver deluxe kit. Why? I just want SDI. I don't care about HDMI. Small, blah, 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 maximum SDI resolution. Why don't they make an SDI version only? That's annoying. Because this one is like $3,000. Which that would be the one that we want because we don't want to convert. So what's the story here? What's the receiving rate? I guess there's only one receiver, right? So here, where's the side? Here. Oh, what's that? SDI out A and B? Can it receive 2? Oh my gosh, can it receive 2? And an extra receiver? Hang on. Teradek antenna. Do they not come with antennas? Maybe if you break them. Question. Can you have multiple transmitters? I mean, 2 transmitters. Or no? There's also an on-camera monitor for small HD with the Bolt transmitter built in, meant for DSLR type cameras. So on-camera... supports 4K video with Teradek patent zero delay technology. Send and receive color accurate true HDR in basically zero. It might just be transmitter without the receiver. No, only one, but with redundant output ports. Okay. So you could, okay, so it can only connect one. Send signal up to 6 Bolt 6 or Bolt 4K series. Wait, what does that mean? Send signal up to 6. What does this page mean? Zero delay. Includes the transmitter and receiver, cross-compatible with the entire Bolt family, including Bolt 4K. Let's see. Lightweight form factor. The Bolt 6 series uses both 6G and 5G unlicensed bands, so you can avoid signal congestion by using the something compatibility in Bolt 6 while retaining the ability to operate in 5G bands. Every Bolt 6 transmitter receiver device can be paired with any Bolt 4K device, regardless of the range. The maximum range of the system in this scenario is always limited by the shortest range. Well, yeah, obviously. In order to use 6G, you will need a Bolt 6 on both the transmit and the receive side. Okay, so that just sounds like it's cross-compatible with other receivers or other transmitters. But, I mean, $3,000 it might be hard to swallow, but if we're completing the rig, then perhaps that's what we do. To avoid running massive SDI cables. I mean, that'd be pretty cool. It would be pretty cool to have that option and, you know, run that out in your fleet over time. You know, you don't have to buy it all up front, but that'd be really cool to have that idea. Multiple devices can listen, but only one transmitter. That seems backwards. You would think that you would have one receiver and multiple transmitters, right? And the receiver could receive multiples, but it's all good. $3,000 a pop for a roaming camera. It's not terrible to get that signal back at zero latency. That would seem appropriate. That's cool. I love it. Well, that's very useful, guys. Thank you. So yeah, we've been dancing around that idea as to what to do with it, and the Bolt 6 LT is SDI only. That's what I'm looking for. Didn't have an HDMI port. Yeah, it has an HDMI port on it. It's not. Is that just HDMI out? Is that what that is? Why? Why is SDI is the cheap, one of the cheap broadcast standards? Why would it be twice the price, you know? But anyway, let me see what it says about the HDMI ports. Let's go down to specs. So here, nothing. Doesn't really tell us. Improve long range, zero latency, frequency gives you better da 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 da. All right, that doesn't really help. HDMI ports, 0. But the pictures show HDMI ports. Fascinating. Okay, so maybe it's just the wrong photo? Why would there be an HDMI port if it doesn't do anything? How do you power this thing? Hey? Is it it's battery operated? Is that right? Man, they really struggle to show all the photos. Yeah, how do you power it? It says DC power, but like, is there a battery option? You wouldn't want to necessarily be tied down to a port on the wall, right? What would be the point of that? So there's a Bolt 6 LT and a Bolt 6 LT HDMI. They're two different models. Okay. Interesting. Well, the cameras that we would, well, the cameras we're going to are HDMI technically, because the ones like the Blackmagic cameras we're going to buy are SDI, and they're also like converter and all that stuff. So you can run it with a single line connection, but the way we're going to do it initially is SDI in and out from the ATEM constellation, because the SDI lines are already run. So we just need to plop them down. And plus those little converter boxes are like $1,000 or something like that, which isn't a huge deal, but it is when you're already kind of breaking the bank on a bunch of other things. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Alrighty. I'm going to reload Nightbot here real quick. Okay. And back to the chat. To power it, you're going to need some way to plug your camera into your camera's power. Either a fancy battery, like a 12-volt output, or a Blackmagic Ursa. Oh, yeah, okay. Into the camera's battery. Yeah, okay. Can you... Question. Yeah, what do you do about that? Is there a way that you can, like, have a battery... I don't know. I guess I assume that they would be onboard power, but then I'm looking at the specs here, and they say... Let's look at these pictures. Oh. Whoa. That's kind of cool. Why are there no photos of the other sides of these? Is this the other side? Maybe Amazon's the wrong place to look at this. Here we go. All right, side shot. Oh, there's the back. Lame. All right, what's included here? Like there's a power supply. SDI cables, HDMI cables. I don't know what that is. Power. There is a battery plate. Okay. Because there's battery plate options, gold mount and V mount. But if I say none, then we're going to have to figure out how to power it as well. Let's see if there's anything down here as to about. Transmitters 9 watts, receivers 11. Format power, DC power input. It doesn't say anything about it. Is there any like Q&As, or maybe there's Q&As? And this is painful to pay for. These just work and they're built like tanks. The battery plate for the transmitter is horrible. Teradek fixed the design. I had an old Hollyland 600 kit and I sold it. These are fantastic. I will say, if you can get away with using the Hollyland Mars 4K kit, you will be happy. I just needed a little more range. But I was happy when we were using the Mars 4K at work. Teradek system connects fast, easy to get started up. I love this kit. So far, things have connected strong and quickly. I picked up the Bolt combo, needed an extra director's monitor. I can toss this on another small HD or even soft side if the black, perfect for my setup. I got my hands on a DJI transmitter and receiver and tested it for a few days. Really ran it through its paces, and I tried to lose its signal. It performed very well. However, if I ever wanted to expand my wireless network by renting more receivers, you'd be screwed in my area because no one has the DJI setup. Teradek Bolt 6 is a major upgrade from the previous generations that I've used over the years, and I really like their build quality. Very solid, and the antenna protection is a very nice touch. As long as you aren't trying any funny business with the antennas and keep them propped vertical, unless you change to a few H antennas, it works really well. All in all, I did obviously go with Teradek, but they should be mindful as the DJI setup is great too. But I went with the Teradek because it's proven to be expandable in rentals in my area. Pictures uploaded with the transmitter on its maiden voyage for Sony FX. Wow. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool. The Wireless King. If you're looking for wireless video, this is the gold standard. It works for most small and medium shoots. Once you go Teradek, you never look back. Using top-notch equipment for filming is key. Get high-quality gear that works with any camera and add flexibility. Best overall results. Using top-notch equipment is filming is key. Okay. All right. So back that thing up. Interesting. It's very interesting. So we use a Core SWX batter mount to the bottom of the camera with 2 pigtails into the camera and the transmitter. Battery plate from Teradek allows you to power the Bolt transmitter either using the gold or the V-mount battery plates. This plate offers 1 D-tap accessory output. I see. Now, if we're going, though, to Blackmagic cameras, what options do I have? Because I don't think I have any. Yeah. So let's take a little look-see over at. Well, we can go back to B&H, I guess. But Blackmagic. $6K G2 Pro. Oh no, it's just $6K G2. It's just their like big one. Pocket cameras, pocket camera. No, they're not pocket cameras. I'm using that. No. I'm going with the Pro. So Blackmagic Pro, 6K Pro. This one. So I'm going with something like this, which are tripod cameras usually, but they have the EF mount, which we have a ton of EF lenses. And so we're not going to use 6K. That's not needed. But we do have that EF mount, which is native, which is great. And then we're going to need to, what's the power on this thing? Now, we're going to 2 or 3 of these. We may end up keeping our Canon cameras, which is what we would then probably use as our roaming. And so if that's the case, we're going to close this. If that's the case, so Blackmagic Studio. And like I said, most of those are on mounts. So let's go back here. I'll look up the Canon model. I'm having a Canon. Thanks for doing this to Sony cameras, but not the Canons. Okay, so he didn't text it to me. I'm trying to remember exactly which Canon camera we were using. They are the... There's too many, Canon. You get too many cameras here. That's annoying. I can't remember which one they have. Regardless, the power supply on it, DSLR power options. Because we have a continuous power supply, right? But in this case, we'd be looking to move to like a battery body on it. But I would need some sort of output, which I don't think I've never seen. So that studio camera would be an interesting for a wireless camera. I think it has 12 volt output on that side. Let's take a look. More photos? Oh, come on. Yeah, so one thing I was thinking was like perhaps I would rig this as a camera on like a body mount so that you didn't have to hold it, you just had to like steer it basically, but rig it on a body mount so that it could just float and then you could get in and out wherever you needed to go. And if you could transmit it over wireless, if you have a Teradek attached to it or something like that, then you could really make good use of the EF lenses that we have. We have a bunch of kind of telescopic lenses, but then we have a bunch of these just like standard 18 to 55 millimeter lenses, and that would be useful for up close shots if we wanted to do that. But oops, okay, if we wanted to do that, but EF mounts, right? So for DSLR, I would get the monitor with the built-in bolt transmitter and then power the camera and everything from the battery on the monitor. Ooh. Okay. So you would get for the built-in bolt transmitter. Brands, filter by brand. We're going to filter by Teradek. Yoink. They have one that has a monitor. Yeah, that'd be cool. Monitor module. Teradek Bolt monitor module. Can I put in like a keyword here? Video compression, price savings. Okay, so maybe not yet. Small HD, same parent company as Teradek. Whoops. Small HD monitor. Small HD touch 7-inch monitor with Bolt 6. 7-inch. What else we got? I don't need a big monitor. Ooh, that's cool. Small HD monitor with Bolt 6 transmit 1500 monitor with V mount. Jeez. On camera monitor. Let's go low to high and see what we run into here. Touch on screen, touch on screen. I don't think I would need a touch screen unless I need to change Teradek stuff. All right, so the entry level for the transmitter. What? come on. Jeez, where is it? Page 2, Bolt 6. Okay. So, small HD Indy 7 monitor with Bolt 6 monitor module transmit kit. Small HD Ultra 5 bolt. Hey, do mirrorless cameras have any use in production like this? What's going on, Frank? How are you? So yeah, we use DSLRs down in Nashville. They're actually our primary camera right now, but in a month or two we will be moving away from them, and they'll probably become our secondary cameras. We have a set of PTZs, which, you know, like all small productions, it seems like a good idea at the time, but we have kind of graduated away from that, you know, like we're not doing that anymore. So we're just trying to sort that out and figure out what the next steps are. Now, inevitably, what that's going to mean is probably training camera operators, and more than likely it'll be me to start. So we've already got a guy and then a volunteer that's being trained to cut the production. And so the guy that does it regularly is really good. And now we need to get him a backup, which is me. I'm also the sound guy's backup. And now we're talking about getting a camera production, like a camera operator. And so that might be me to start. So yeah, it'll be an interesting situation, but we'll go from there. But we are using the DSLRs for that purpose right now. If I'm not mistaken, most DSLRs have more HDMI latency than a proper production camera. That could be adding to your challenges the other day. Yeah, I don't doubt it, actually. It's pretty good. I mean, like, it's quite tight, but I think if we move to an actual production camera, then we'll get even better results. So I'm looking forward to seeing that happen and potentially having a better production overall. But it's just time. It's time to like move up. So NetHab, what do you think here? Like, what's the entry level built-in Bolt 6 wireless transmitter? Let's take a look at this thing, because it's built in, right? And so what's the power? USB? What the? How do you... Ooh, Ethernet? What? How do you power it? It's almost like I need a secondary power supply, right? Like I need a plate on the back of it. And so if I say features, screen res, price saving stocks, includes battery adapter plate. All right. Maybe we will now see a bolt on this page. It's got to go further than that. Gold mount, ultra. Okay, so here, V mount, gold mount. I think we're gold mount, the ones that we have up there. All right, so small HD Indy 7-inch monitor with Bolt 6 monitor module. Nice little monitor to use. The transmitter is on the back of that, and then the battery snaps in here. Let me see. Monitor handles and neck strap. What? It comes with these little handles? That's funny. I'm not too sure I would need that. Interesting. I never would have thought about HDMI latency from a DSLR. Yes, there is latency. I can guarantee that right now because I'm using that. I've lined it up in vmix, approximately, so that you guys don't notice it, but they're from when I actually wave to when I see it on vmix, it's delayed. So it'd be great to go get a better camera for that. I have a Sony FS5M2, which is a lovely mix of proper production camera and DSLR. It has an S35 APS size sensor and can easily adapt to EF lenses. And it has low latency SDI output. Wow, that's cool. I would love to have SDI output. That'd be great. The handles are for directors on a film set. Oh, I see. Sorry, let's see. Can I push this again? Yeah, so good golly. Well, here we go. Where is it? Lower thirds. vMix. Nope. Oh, here, social. This. The handles are for the director on the film set. Gotcha. I wouldn't need that. I would need it to be mounted to a camera. Okay, that's interesting. I mean, this is really interesting integration stuff. V-mount. Next page. Let's see how ridiculous we get here. Gold mount, plate. I think those are the only real options. Let's go down here again to the... Oh, here it was. This one. So now if we say specs... Video format, battery type, L series, 2x interchangeable mount. They have... Wait, there's room for 2? Where? Gosh... B&H, can you guys put better pictures on your website? Because they suck. Let's see what else we have here. Who else will show us proper small HD? Okay. The Indy 7. That's cool. Oh, look at that. That's in the monitor itself, eh? And then when you snap on this guy, then you get a single. Gotcha. What do those batteries run? Battery plates. Here. Included with gold and V-mount options. Additional Indy 7 attached to the back of the monitor for integration, cable-free workflows. Let's go there. Let's find out. What's going on, Phil? How are you, man? Welcome. Hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're surviving over there all right. You guys are probably gearing up for starting to talk about some trade shows, eh? That's exciting. Integrated design. Manage bolt on your monitor. So yeah, what does the battery run? What did I read? It was a gold plate L style. Is that what it was? Power L series. That's, oh, here, Teradek specs. So this is it. Yeah, gold mount. Okay. So if we go... Whoa. Well, that's cool. That says DTAP on it. Can charge battery using DTAP as input. Supports 12 amps continuous draw. Oh yeah, here you go. $1,000 battery. Good Lord. All right. Well, they get even fancier. Look at that. It has a little LCD screen on it. Oh, this one, I guess this one has lights. There's 5-star reviews, 5 stars, no reviews. It's redunculous. Okay, $150, $160. That's okay. Micron lithium. What are we talking about in terms of like power here, like time? 90 watts, 93, 50, Micron 50. I mean, for 150 watts, you might as well go like big boy, right? Load it up. Why not? Yep. All good, thanks. NAB isn't far away. No, it is not. I had this thought, like, I should just use some of my Delta fly miles that I have now and run over to Vegas and just pop in for the day and see you guys, but don't want to be that guy. Hey, if you're okay with used units, there's a listing on eBay for an old style HDMI only monitor with Bolt built in. I would be okay with that. That would like, but this is all next step stuff. So like, this isn't an immediate thing. L series is the old style Sony Infolithiums and so forth. Very common for smaller stuff. Excellent. This is all very good information. Yes, but for $300 for the battery, that seems, for what it is that we're trying to do, that seems reasonable. But you could even go, you don't have to go that super heavy, I guess. You could probably just do it like this. It says gold mount. Oh, okay, on the side like that. Oh, look, they're using it for that very reason. Cool. 3-stud or V-mount, both options. Kit configuration. 2 batteries and plates, dual travel charger. How much is this? Whoa! 2 batteries and charger. How about just battery and charger? Okay. Battery only. How do you charge it? 4-stage gauge displays battery equipment using D-tap output. 5-volt USB Type A output can be used to charge smaller equipment like a smartphone. Capacity allows packs to be transported, carry on. Where are the... Always check with your airlines if you're going to travel with it. How do you charge it? It doesn't come with a charger? You've got to be kidding me. Hey, is there any NDI at Safe Harbor? There sure isn't. Do people still use gold mount? What's your recommendation, Phil? I'll go with what Phil recommends. That is a resource I will bet money on. Apparently not. Apparently people are not using gold mount. So let's go back here to does this have an option for what? V mount? Is that what you're talking about? Is it the same price? It's more expensive. Come on, man. How is it more expensive? Oh, I clicked the wrong one. That's right. That's why. Here we go. V mount. Phil Lane, unfortunately, yes. Panasonic's ENG camera only comes with gold mount. Frink, to kind of answer your question a little bit better, no, we're not running NDI. It's an SDI house, and so we're doing a whole lot of home runs with SDI because we're in an installation and we aren't needing to really have the movability like NDI gives you the flexibility for that. It would be great to throw down some NDI cameras eventually, but we're really talking about real-time latency and IMAG and stuff with this install, so whatevs. So Phil, are you suggesting V-mount? Is that what you're suggesting? It looks like everything's the same price for V-mount. It's just it looks simpler too, doesn't it? Can I see the ports on the thing? Where's the top shot? Nowhere to be found. Again, Sweetwater, do better. Be better. Okay. You could be better. Let me reload the Facebook page here. Okay, just making sure nobody's commenting. I don't know where Anthony went, but he had a question about bird dog camera. And now Frank's here, so if I couldn't answer it, Frank could. That's where it's at, man. Airline approved, is that what that says? Whoops. Air transportation. Yeah, you probably have to put it in your bag though when you get on board. Are there customer images? Oh, there you go. Ooh, wow, that's a big battery for that thing. Videos. Introducing the Nano Micro. 2 words that mean small. Okay, so $3,500 plus a battery. So we're close to $4,000 just to transmit the thing. And then Teradek Bolt, just the receiver. No. Yeah, just the receiver. Where's receiver only? Bolt receiver. Teradek Bolt Bolt 6 RX. Transmitter receiver. I just want the receiver. Wait. What? What? Come on. Why is the receiver as much Teradek Bolt receiver the same as the combo? I don't understand. It's more expensive than the combo. What am I looking at here? Why am I doing this? I'm messing it up here. Yeah, Bolt 6 LT wireless receiver. 1640. Bolt HDMI. Oh, I see. All right, so if I click on this and then say SDI, right? Jeez. What am I doing wrong here? I feel like I'm having an issue. We used to swap them out for V-mounts and had boxes of gold mounts for Panic cameras. I'd always go with a V-mount. Okay. See? This is why I still host this show, folks, because great insight. I wouldn't have known. Always go with V-mount. Okay. I started using FS5 for the NDI cameras to flex in. It syncs nicely with my P200s. Bird dog. What about it? What about bird dog? We can go down that road. The HDMI only version is half the price, which is strange. I can convert it cheaper HDMI to SDI than I could buy just a flat out SDI version. The issue is that the cameras that, well, okay. Well, we stick with a Canon, and the Canons are HDMI. How does the monitor work? Let's go back to this page. I need coffee. I need a coffee machine in my office. I have 2 coffee machines in my kitchen downstairs, but I don't have one up here that I could just get going while I'm making live stream stuff. Okay, so Teradek 7, transmit receive. I would like a real up close picture of the Indy. Can I see? Okay, HDMI 2.0. So we have in and out. So we go into the monitor, right? Into the Teradek or into the monitor first? Oh, this like snaps in. Let's take a look at the Bolt module and see. Can I see the module? There we go. Bolt 6 monitor modules. All I want to see, folks, is the unit. Okay, so here it is. This is the unit. So HDMI. Okay, so it's into the monitor, out of the monitor, into the Teradek. Because it looks like it's just HDMI in. Okay, cool. Got it. Clear as mud. So into the monitor, out of the monitor, into the Teradek. Teradek back to the desk, and then we convert it over to SDI from there. Perfect. Can do. I've seen so many gold mounts with broken off nubbin where one of the 3 studs should be. Have you looked at Hollyland RX transmit receive kits? They've always been used to be fairly good. Okay, so the story goes, we had a Hollyland transmitter receiver of 400, and I'm going to pull that up because we've been actually talked about this just briefly. Hollyland 400, Mars 400. So this is where it all started. We were this weekend we were monkeying around, and I stumbled across these in the technical closet, and I was like, "What's this?" And they're like, "Oh yeah, we tried that, but the latency was too long." And so I got looking at them, and I was like, "Well, we fixed the latency on the TVs. Could it be that now this is fast enough?" So we hooked it all up, and yikes, man, it was slow compared to what it is that what we were experiencing. So I might use these as a way to send back a monitor to like a stage or something. Like if we had a TV on the floor and we wanted to just wirelessly send the program back. Yeah, we should do that. We should put a TV on the floor. That'd be such a good idea. TV on the floor just so that people can see the program. Anyway, so what we were going to do is not use this for a camera, which has a hot shoe mount. This would be okay for recording and then lining it up in post, but it just isn't very good for real-time video syncing across multiple cameras that are all coming back over SDI, to be honest with you. So it just wasn't good enough, wasn't fast enough. And the latency claims to be pretty quick. The range wasn't amazing. It lost connection fairly easily, but I have heard, they showed them, they're like, "Oh yeah, we bought a set." And then they showed them to me, and I was surprised that at what they had. Now, I've heard more about the Mars. I just read the Mars 4K units were better. But what's the latency? 0.6. So it's a little bit less, but still not amazing, right? So it's hard to justify paying money to do that, but whatever. I used my Hollyland kit once with a feed splitting in from a giant trailer mounted LED wall. The LED wall ended up having slightly more latency than the Hollyland kit. I should really do a proper measurement with mine. Line of sight is so important with these. Yeah, and we would have direct line of sight. I actually really like the idea of mounting the transmitter above the ceiling, like above the stage. That's a great idea. We could definitely do that. And then run SDI back, or run, well, if it's the HDMI version, then we'd have to just go, because that would save us a ton of money if we use the Canon. So, okay, here's a question that I have is, do they make Canon DSLR V-mount battery kits? Maybe? Oh boy. Small rig. Small rig V-mount, compact V-mount battery mounting system. So you have your V-mount there, and then what is this? It's just a mount. It's not. Whoa. Oh, that's cool. So you can flip the screen out. 4K and then you run it to your screen. So I have a little screen. Where are you? I think he's here somewhere. Oh, it's this one that I have. So I've got this little monitor that comes with a little boom arm that I would love to get power to, but it runs off of USB 5 volt as well. Oh, and there's a gold plate mount on the back. That's funny. I didn't even know that. Yeah, and then it has like a little sun shield, and it has a bunch of stuff. I was using it as my teleprompter, but I'm not really using the teleprompter right now for anything. It's nice to have, but I should pack it up because it's just taking up a bunch of space, and my 5-year-old son keeps whacking his head on it. So I need to move it out of the way. Poor kid. So that's very interesting. You could buy a small rig mount. Oh, man, I've wanted a small rig mount for this DSLR camera for a very long time. Yes, they absolutely do. You probably need to set up a 15 millimeter rail system. I absolutely love small rig. Seriously, small rig is great. I need to get the frame for my camera because that would make it very versatile. Core SWX Power Base Edge is a battery with integrated tripod plate. Ooh, that's cool. It's a V-mount, sits under the camera so you can put it on a tripod, take it off at will. Ooh, okay, that's cool too. Small rig, let's take a look. So you can like swing it out of the way when you need to. But I would mount this on top of the camera in the hot shoe or on the small rig mount. Jeez, this is probably going to cost me a fortune to do. It's $100 just the plate. Ugh, come on, small rig. So okay, let's go back. How does the V mount? So this thing wouldn't provide power to the camera necessarily. It has a D-tap though. It's very tempting. I remember when Anton Bauer came out with something like that, 2007, 2008, I think. Interesting. I wonder if they make a... What is this mount? I wonder if they make a mount that they would convert gold mount to V mount plate. Gold mount. Plate converter. The first one is a passive plate. You need to run everything from the D-tap. You get a dummy battery with just plastic in the shape of your camera body, your camera battery with a pigtail in the V-mount battery. Yes, so I have one of those. I have a dummy that then comes out, and you plug that into, you said the D-tap? Okay, that's useful. I'm totally going to find out what's going on. Hey, are you building a new rig? I just did that too. Hey, what's going on, Jake? Jake's over on Facebook. Hopefully you're doing well. Thanks. I don't have Facebook integrated with socials yet because I'm not streaming directly to John O'Canute, the actual Facebook group. So I'll monitor the chat there too, though, on Facebook. But just to let you know, that's where I'm at. I'll split it so I can see both. Yeah, I'm kind of monkeying around with the idea of changing my rig a bit or just making it better. So this can be powered via USB if I had to, which it is normally when it's here as my confidence monitor, as my teleprompter, which again, I'm not using it as a real teleprompter. I'm just using it as a confidence monitor. But yeah. So I do have one of those dummy plates going into, because I have constant power supplied to the Canon camera. So then it comes out. And then this little battery I was looking at actually has a 12 volt DTAP, 5 volt USB. Could you go both? Could I run a small cable out of the DTAP and another cable from the USB to power this screen? That'd be wild. Probably could, right? So you mount it, V-mount on the back of the camera, and then you run the DTAP to the camera, and you run the USB to the screen. Okay. Interesting. Yes, Chad says. All right, well then that probably just means I need to start building out my small rig for this Canon. So if we say small rig, this is the Canon RP. Oh, look. It's a DTAP. It's a DTAP plug direct from small rig. That's hilarious. So apparently I'm not the first one to do this. All right, the cage is $80. This is probably why I haven't done it, is because the cage is $80 and I find that pill very hard to swallow. Just because it seems like a lot. Yes. Although people kind of like badmouth the RP, Canon RP. It's, mirrorless M mount camera. I really like it. I find it very easy to use. I've gotten very comfortable with it. It takes great pictures. Take it on vacation. It's not huge. It's easy to handle. It works really well for me. All right. So yes, this would be the next purchase for this camera, is this $80 frame, and then you can start building out all the pieces that go with it. The next thing would be sorry, so let's just put this in the cart for the second, and then a small rig V-mount plate, another $80. Jeez. What is this? Power adapter plate, power supply splitter with 15 millimeter rod clamps for adjustable. And I don't need the rods. So small rig, this one, battery plate with V mount. Why is this only $40? Small rig mini V mount battery plate. This goes on the bottom. Let's take a look at that. Oh, Newer makes one. Trying to undercut the market. Oh, look at that. That's cool. V-lock assembly, V-mount battery plate, quick release, thread holes. So you could just mount it to the camera. It doesn't necessarily need to be a flip out. Although this little flip out plate is, let's look at that one as well. So this comes with these little rods, which again, I don't really need because I'm not doing that. All right, so not that one, I guess. This one, what options? What are we doing here? What else? What other options are there? What other mounting positions? There are the thread holes for... Okay, so you could like mount this anywhere, really. What else we got? What else we got? We got other photos? No, any customer photos. Oh dear. All right, not helpful. Or without rod holders. See, that's why I don't need the rods. I just need the stinking mount. I guess it's more about like weight distribution too, right? Oh, this comes with the rods. I see. It would destroy the shoe if you tried to putting that on top. The cage would help, of course. Yes, so mounted to the cage, not to the hot shoe. Oh, there's V-mount batteries from Small Rig and newer. Same milliamps, same wattage, $60 difference. Jeez. Those are cool. I do like this little V-mount battery plate. My computer is not liking all of these tabs that I've got open, so let's close some of these down. Started complaining. Battery bank, always handy. Yeah. How is that attached? Ooh, L-shape integrated design. Oh. $99 watt hours is the max limit per battery you can take on an airplane. Oh. Useful information. How did you find that out, I wonder? Hopefully before you took a flight and not after. All right. Well, this is interesting stuff. I wouldn't obviously put it in the hot shoe, but I just want to mount it to... Yeah, I would just want to mount it to like the handle or the camera body or something like that, you know. It has to be in the center though. Yeah, I'm on a plane at least twice a month. Yeah, hey, same. Now me too. I've never taken batteries this size though. Man, I would love to get a real battery. That would make a big difference. Interesting. Okay, well, we went down this rabbit hole because I was trying to find a battery situation that I could use the integrated Teradek monitor, small rig monitor. A lot of cool options have been shared, including the what did we say here? course, I closed all those windows down. Small HD Indy 7 monitor with Bolt 6 monitoring module, transmitter, and receive. Wait, RX kit? Receive kit? Oh, shoot. This is the receiver, not the transmitter? Oh, I don't want the receiver on this end. I want the transmitter on this end. Right? Teradek monitor module transmitter. All right, so maybe that's what we were looking at, and it just came up wrong. Indy 7, lightweight, streamlined. And then here, I want the monitor and the transmitter. Yeah, because this is for like a director watching this, right? So is there a what's this? I want this mounted on top of a camera. This. What's this? This is the thing I want. The Teradek Bolt 6 monitor module pairs your small smart monitors, allowing you to wirelessly control Red, Sony, blah, 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 control da, da, da. Okay. So let's go back. Because the way I want to run this rig is I want to go into the monitor and then into the transmitter, and then I want that transmitter to go back to a receiver in a booth. So if we said transmitter, this guy. Okay, cool. So I'd like a V mount, please. Oh, wait, it switches to receiver. What the? Come on, man. So I would need to small rig this somehow. Right? So Teradek Bolt 6 with transmitter for Smart Series monitors. So this is what I want on the top of my camera. What is this little plate down here for? Oh, that's the transmitter. Okay, so then that's mounted to the monitor. Okay. And then super thin, man. Like this. This is what it looks like when it's all together. Okay. So somehow I need to mount a battery. I need to do the small rig battery mount and then power the screen, which would power the Teradek and the camera. Jeez. Would I need a massive battery to do that if I was running it for an hour and a half? How big of a battery are we talking about here? Because yeah, we need to small rig cage. Is this the HDMI version? Yeah. So we would need to small rig the cage. And we would need to then get a mount for that. I'll have to write it all down because it's hard for me to think it all through right this second. Okay. It is approaching the 1 o'clock hour, so we should definitely peace out and go from there and plan to come back next week. So more next week. I'll be gearing up for another trip down to Nashville come this time next week. So the monitor has a V-mount add-on plate that goes on the back. Okay, so there's an accessory or something here. Accessories. Teradek plate gold. View all recommendations. Plates. Hey, boom, goes the dynamite. So let's take a quick look at this guy for $160. Where does it go? Battery plate. Can somebody post a review? Here we go. Review. Ooh. So small rig battery plate on the back of the unit, which would then be on the monitor. Oh my gosh. Which you would still want to fasten to the small rig chassis, right? Because you don't want to put that in the hot shoe because it'll destroy the hot shoe, as Angus had said. So you'd still want a small rig it, which means then you don't necessarily need to have the plate, but it would be nice for it to be all integrated, right? Because then you don't have to have any wires or anything. It just click the battery in and the whole unit powers on. And then out of the D tap, you could go to the camera. So that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it right now. So let's go ahead and get this guy. I'm just going to dump all of this in an Amazon list. Teradek Pro V-mount battery. This one, right? Yeah. 175. All right, I'll just put that in the cart for the second. Oh, Anton Bauer. Wait a minute. That's what the micro battery plate for small HD Ultra 5 and Ultra 7 series. Okay. Maybe I got the wrong one. Micro battery plate. Yoink. Small HD micro battery plate for small series 5 and 7. That's okay. All right. So you need that. Small HD, the on-set monitoring system. Touchscreens. I was thinking Indy 7 or Indy 5. But I want the transmit. Small Ultra 5 Bolt 6. Yes, transmitter. Something like this. It's so cool. It just needs to be the HDMI version though, eh? Okay, I'm going to put a shopping list together and I will come back next week and we can review all this. But I do need to get on with stuff here. So I'm almost done with some of my things that I had planned for today. So I just got to button those up and I'll be finished. But man, it's been fun to be back and great to be online once a week. Now there's a couple of other shows, of course. Do not forget to hang out with Tom St. Clair on Wednesday afternoons over on the Streaming Idiots channel, and also they can be found at Eastern Shore Broadcasting. So be sure that you hang out with Tom. He is the GOAT of streaming, especially NDI stuff, and he's one of the vMix masters over in stateside. So definitely check him out. And Anthony Baracus has launched his own little tech channel, and so we know Anthony from Bird Dog Days, and I've been hanging out with him a little bit online, just talking about some stuff. And so he's got a channel that is kind of up and coming, and so I think it's over on YouTube. So check him out and follow him if you don't mind. He would appreciate that, and he's a pretty decent guy, so it's worth your time and effort if you're interested in more conversations like this. He's doing a lot of reviewing of industry gear, so if you are wanting to keep up with that sort of stuff, there you go. There's a couple more guys to be sure to follow. But as always, be sure that you hang out with me here on Thursdays at 11 o'clock Eastern time, right here on Bird Dog John. No, not Bird Dog John. Formerly Bird Dog John. Now John O'Canute over on the YouTube channel. And that's good stuff. Anton Bauer is also owned by the same parent as Pterodactyl. Small world, eh? As is Manfrotto and Schluter and about half the world. Hey, have a great day, Angus. Always great to see you. Thank you for coming by. And for everybody that's hung out for a little while, it's always nice to have a chat and get to see you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate that. It would help me out big time. And like these live videos so that we all get a little bit more viewership over on the YouTubes. And feel free to join me next week. We'll go again. I will think of some clever title and put that up on the YouTube page for next Thursday. As I gear up to go back to Nashville, I'll let you know what we're planning on doing while I'm down there. But man, this stuff is hopefully helpful to you. It's very fruitful for me. So if anything, join me and teach me stuff. That's always fun. So take care of yourselves, guys. Always a pleasure, as always. And we will see you guys in about a week. So take it easy, and we'll catch you next time.